beautiful day and we are having conversations at the Happydance stand with EB and TA leaders on the future of storytelling in the era of AI. I'm here with my good friend Virginia Tirado. Virginia, wonderful to see you. Can you quickly introduce yourself, who are you and what it is you do?
I'm Virginia Tirado. I work on both sides of the pond. I've lived in England for many years and now coming back home in LA, and after having been an in-house leader for many, many years, venturing out on my own to have some fun and pay it forward.
Yeah, fantastic. And both sides of the pond and also both sides of the fence as well now, because you're doing a lot of recruiting in different contexts now, aren't you?
Correct. And that is the exciting part, is that this is a really great time to be in this profession. I know we get a lot of heat and there's a lot of uncertainty, but I think that when you're a talent leader and you understand why you do what you do, it's just about exploring how you can continue to add value.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the employer branding aspect of talent acquisition. What do you think are the impacts of AI on how companies tell their story? What's been the big shift, let's say, from pre-ChatGPT to today? Has there anything been discernible in terms of how how companies are thinking about EB?
I think it's like everything that we see, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of noise. Obviously, you can get a lot of things done faster. But what I have been seeing more and more, and even here, talking to people, it's about still remaining authentic, right? Making sure that the stories you're telling, you can really use the benefits of AI to get to the point of the speed that you need, because sometimes you really do need, and things are changing.
Yeah.
But it's about really making sure that you stay very, very much authentic. And like the best thing I see that is working today is continuing to have, employees telling your story, really sharing what it is like to work where you are and why are you working, whether it's purpose driven or mission driven. Really, why are you doing what you're doing and how do you enjoy that?
Yeah, employee generated content is one of those, I think it's obvious that this is what job candidates want to see. They don't want to hear from recruiters necessarily. They don't want to hear from marketers. They barely want to hear from leaders sometimes. It's the job itself. Can we see someone who's currently doing the job you're applying for? Are they on camera? Are they doing the job? Are they talking about it? That's gold when it comes down to employer branding content. How do you motivate employees to contribute content of this type? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I've led bigger talent teams where I actually had an employer branding team, and you have to A/B test. Really, I think when you incentivize too much, then you lose a little bit of the authenticity.
Yes.
I think it is about getting people excited about working with people that they will have fun working with, creating, innovating, right? You can do little giveaways, you can do, you can gamify it a bit. And yes, especially in tech, the gamification always works. But to me, what I have seen work the best is really getting the people that you see doing the things that they love, that are really good culture fit, that have the energy. Go after them and say, why are you here? Why do you like working here? We want to share that story. Would you help us in this particular area? And I feel like that is the most effective way of really being authentic.
Yeah. It's less about being authentic, more about being transparent. Like, just show what you're doing, show the people, and then let the audience make their own judgments on that. Companies have got to lose their fear of the truth there, don't they?
That's a good point.
In terms of, let's zoom out and let's think about sort of career sites. Let's imagine career sites as a dating profile. What is a red flag on a career site that will cause you to swipe away, move on?
It's really interesting when you put too much effort and to look too diverse, or when you don't put any effort to look too the same, too much of the same.
When you're forcing diversity on screen when it isn't
you're
there.
forcing it, when you are, and then when you're putting, the token person, whether it's a woman in tech or whether it's a person of color, show the people having fun, doing the day-to-day stuff, and also the grinding, because you are going to be grinding. I'm doing a lot of work now a little bit different than what I did in the past, which is working with founders and helping build those founding teams initially. And I want to tell the right story. I want to get people that want to do what the founders are proud of building, but you don't want to bring in somebody that 3 months later are going to regret having joined, bring in people that are going to regret having joined because nobody told them they needed to be there, 6 days a week, or may have to work, long hours, or, travel, whatever it is, just make sure that, like you said, when I say authentic, I am talking about, the truth. Like, what is it? What is it that you are doing and what are you expecting? Set the expectations on, talk about your culture. And if you don't know what that culture is at the beginning, spend time really as a new company or later on identifying what those values are so that you can tell people what you would expect, what drives you, and what you want them to see in you, to see if they're a good match for you and you are a good match for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Final question, really. Preparations for 2026. What advice do you have for EB and TA leaders for the year ahead, Virginia?
Don't rely so much on the noise. Don't rely so much on AI. Like, the things that worked in the past still work today. We're humans. That's the big thing about employer brand is the storytelling, the human aspect. Use the tools to become efficient, but think about your messaging in terms of growth. Like, what do you want to see in the teams that you're building?
Yeah.
And stay really close to what has worked in the past should still work in the future. And so go back, reflect, look at data, look at how things perform, talk to people you admire, and keep those conversations going.
Yeah, absolutely. The golden truths, the olden truths, folks. Virginia Tirado, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation.
Thank you for having me.